we really should be doing it in open session.
Yep.
So it's
Well,
up to you.
okay, I'm happy to carry on in open session unless anybody thinks we ought to change. Jerry?
Sorry, bad timing. I was going to say no objection.
Right, okay, so let's continue in open session then and take it in the public spirit at which we're working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the situation, Jerry?
I think you're just about to do it anyway, but I was going to say that I don't feel very up to speed with this at the moment. So hopefully someone's going to summarise what the idea is, why we're thinking about doing it, and what the benefit to the town will be.
Yeah, okay. So let me do just that then. So the issue is that ENC have owned the garage that's on the corner of the Wreck for a number of years, doesn't matter how many. It is theirs, and they've now put it up for sale. We were told by the estate agents that it was for sale just over 2 weeks ago. And it triggered a thought process, which was, first off, it actually sits on the recreation ground, but more appropriately, it is adjoining the set of lock-up garages. And if at some point in the future the town wanted to consider buying those garages, this one could stop the development of the whole patch, and the development could be anything. Peter?
Sorry, I thought ENC, I didn't realise an estate agent had got it.
Yes.
So who is that then?
Name I've forgotten now, Emma.
Property Search, but they call Prop Search.
Oh, I've never heard of them anyway. So.
Right. So on some of the earlier communications on this, their advert is actually attached to it, the flyer that goes with it. So it's really about protecting that piece of land for future use, and the suggested retail price of it was £13,000, which wasn't a tremendous amount of money. The danger is for us, if somebody takes that and then applies for planning permission to put something more commercial on their site, then it's right on the corner where the children's playground is, and it stops us with any other thoughts we might have. And just as two thoughts in my mind for potential future use. One is as a car parking for people using the recreation ground, and the other one is potential site for a scout hut or something of that size. Again, located in an appropriate place. All right. I don't know if anybody else has had enough of the background. Oh, maybe one more other bit then. We had been suggested that we raised a claim as an asset of community value, and we were very quickly sort of put right on that one, that it cannot be an asset of community value because we haven't been using it in the recent past for community. So as long as you have been using things in the past for community value, then you can put in a claim for future use, but this were not available to us. The only one that is available to us is there is a ruling that allows ENC to sell a piece of property for less than its full market value if it is for the benefit of the community. And this clearly, in what we're putting forward, is for the benefit of the community. We've approached ENC about that, and currently we don't seem to be able to engage with the right people that would make that sort of decision. So the current situation is that by Friday this week, we need to put in a bid for it if we want to bid. And, it's we know that there's somebody else after the piece of land as well. So the discussion we've got here is, first off, do we want to bid? And then the second one, do we want to go above the suggested price? Sorry, welcome, Malcolm. Sorry, but we started without you.
I'm going to try and do it on my phone again. My laptop's failed. I don't know. I've had to go and see somebody about it, I guess. So I apologize.
Yeah, one thing, you can't have a grant for it, so you'll have to buy your own laptop. Yeah. Right, Clive.
Just a thought, Tony. I mean, will it influence anything if we... Because I was thinking about it the other day, walking past it as I did, thinking that it might be useful, because there were lots of sort of mums with kids and things around there. Could it be possible as a sort of store shed for children's activities on that piece of the playground and things like
There's
that. I mean,
certainly plenty of opportunities for it. You know, using it is going to be cheaper for us than demolishing it. You know, there's quite a cost in demolishing things. So if it's safe, you know, and we can do that, then it's up for
I mean,
grabs forever.
do you feel that there's any sort of benefit in putting something together to try and persuade ENC, or are they just going to be ENC all over?
No, I think at the moment it's just about finding the right people. You know, so we've approached the district councillors, all 4 of them, and asked for their support on it. Really, what they've come back and said is, you know, we need to put in our own request. The problem we're having is finding out who to talk to.
No.
The only thing we've had back from them so far is it's not an asset of community value, and you do need to get a bid in by Friday.
Right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So we don't have any clue what any other person who might buy it might want to use it for.
No, we don't. You know, there is thought that it could be, you know, sort of an extension of the garage next door.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be somebody who just wants storage space for a car.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm sorry, I don't know. I think I've not been in the loop with some of these communications because I don't seem to have anything about this really, other than I was vaguely aware it was mentioned, but I don't.
Do apologise, Jerry. Yeah, Emma.
Well, I think what it was, we discussed it at the full council. Was it full council meeting? It was on the agenda.
Which I wasn't at, of course.
Yeah, but we agreed then to have this extraordinary meeting because we wanted to see whether we could get some more information. I then contacted Property Search, sent a letter that Tony had drafted, just saying, you know, what we wanted it for and how close it was to recreation ground. And so it really happened on Friday. It was me, Thursday or Friday, completing the community for us.
Asset of community value.
No, asset for community,
Yeah.
community value form to then be told, no, it's not one of those. And then basically background in circle again saying, if you want it, then you need to put a bid in.
Yeah, okay. Malcolm?
Should this be done in closed session? If we're up against somebody else bidding, they'll be able to see what we're bidding.
Well, we talked about that earlier. There's nobody here. This won't go out until the bids are closed. And when you're discussing money, it really should be in an open session.
Okay, no, it's a good point. I hadn't thought that it was not going out straight away. Therefore, we can talk quite safely. And you know, just the conversation we had, Malcolm, was along the avenue that, you know, we would like wherever possible to be talking in public.
Well, obviously, but
Yeah.
you know, this is a commercial situation, so.
Yeah. No, certainly, if we'd had to release this recording before the bid went in, then yes, we should have go into camera. But since it's not going to go out before the bid goes in, then we're safe.
I mean, to cut to the chase, Tony. I mean, how high can we go? I mean, how much have we got? If you see what I mean.
I think I think we should take the approach from the other direction. Not about how high we should go, is what do we think it's worth to us?
Right.
You know, and you know, it's public money. You know, so it would be nice to get it, but personally, I wouldn't go very high on it. Yeah, Jerry.
So, what sort of area are we talking about?
It's a single lock-up garage with a piece of land alongside it. You know, so
maybe 2 cars parking spaces.
yes, yeah. Yeah,
It's about that size, Joe. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would we potentially use it for? I mean, it sounds a bit small for a scout hut.
No, so the issue is, Jerry, if in the future we want to buy the lock-up garages, then the whole site becomes viable as the scout hut.
But if we don't, then we've spent a lot of money for no apparent value.
Well, what we've done then is we've recovered that piece of the recreation ground, so we can turn it back into a recreation ground, or we can use it for storage.
Again, apologies, I'm not up to speed. I wish I'd walked past it before this meeting. But is it literally then physically in the recreation ground?
Yes, yes. So the fence of the recreation ground aligns with the front of the garage.
Okay.
So what's happening is that there's a small area of parked cars alongside that. You know, it's public area for parked cars. Then this garage. the two garage doors open outwards within the curtilage that's for sale, and they open outwards, and then the footpath is beyond them.
Okay.
So what we're buying is that whole piece of land, from open garage doors. I think it was possibly originally built for storing the tractor for mowing the grass on the field.
Right.
Seems to be the logical reason for it to be there. Emma?
I'm just thinking our fence goes behind it. It's not.
No, our fence at the moment, it cuts behind it only because, it's put there piece of ground separate from the recreation ground. But the line of the fence comes up to the front edge of the garage. So it is physically in the shape of the recreation ground.
Of course, we could argue that if we did get it and someone else got the other bits, then we could actually make profit on it by.
Well, we've got options at that point.
Because the site will increase in value because of someone wanting it more. So
yeah, very very worried about doing speculative things, but yes, Ian.
I'm going to say to counter the point you made about sort of working in reverse. The other way to look at it, I think, is that there's a sort of strategic value that if we didn't have it and someone else did, what they could do there and how it would impact on the rest and everything else could be quite significant. So there's an opportunity cost of not having it perhaps as well.
That is one of my big concerns, is that if somebody does buy the lock-up garages and this, then we might have a planning application that we can't do anything about. And it is right on top of the children's play area. Yeah. Right. Anybody else got in? Yes, Malcolm.
Who's in the running besides us? Anybody? Do you know anybody who's expressed it?
All we've been told is that it's a resident of Oundle. Now, whether it is a resident of Oundle or a business of Oundle, we wouldn't know. But again, at the asking price, it's extremely cheap, and so quite a few people will just speculate on it.
How much is it?
13,000.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So fact-wise, that's where it is. The first question is, do we want to bid on it? And then, but after that one, the decision is, do we go above 13,000? Right. So, can I, without taking a vote at the moment, how do you feel about bidding on it?
yeah, no, absolutely. I think we should go for it.
Yeah.
Personally.
Jerry, I know we've thrown this at you, but
I'm a bit unconvinced, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a bit worried we'll spend £30,000. It'll sit there not being used for anything indefinitely. But
Peter,
I'm not sure.
right.
I think we should bid for it, but I'm not gonna say that we should bid a lot.
Okay.
I mean 13,000 is not that cheap for a very small piece of land, I think.
No, yeah.
And we'll end up with additional costs on top of that, because by the time we've paid for stamp duty and solicitors' fees and God knows what else, it'll look more like 16 or 18,000, I suspect.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Emma.
Yeah, my other worry is that I think for us to use it for anything, there needs to be a considerable amount of work spent on it, because it would just, I don't think it's secure enough for us to put anything in it.
No. Okay. So yes, there are, Jerry, definitely going to be other costs incurred with it, along the future. Now, whether or not we do this as a trigger and then immediately engage in the see whether the garages are up for sale again, might be something we have to say. And if nothing comes of that, then we'd review what we do.
I mean, even then, sorry, Ian.
Yes.
And I go for every.
I was going to say, well, even then, how much value is that bit of land to us? If we wanted to build a scout on the wreck, there's quite a lot of wreck we've got already.
Yes.
We could, if someone puts a development on that bit of garage, we could build a scout next to it, assuming we get planning, which, given it be a very small percentage of the area, I would not thought would be, untenable. So, you know, what are we actually gaining by having it?
So yeah, just Ian, let's do yours first.
I was going to say that what Rupert mentioned the other day, we could easily buy it and not necessarily use it. We could let it out to people. There's always people on Facebook and stuff looking for garages in and around Oundle. So we could have a very small income stream, which wouldn't pay for it, but it would at least help us secure that that location in case we wanted to sell it in the future or use it in the future or develop it in the future. And if we don't have it, we lose all of those options.
Okay. Yep. So Emma, did you?
No, sorry, I've just told. Yeah, I wasn't.
You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Look, Malcolm.
We presume, have we got ongoing maintenance costs if we take this on, even if we don't use it? And I don't know what sort of condition it's in, asbestos roof or anything nasty like that involved, I hope. Does anybody know?
No, I
I
don't.
don't know. It doesn't look in great condition. It doesn't look bad though. It has got 2 doors on it that look like they work.
Someone used to keep a lorry in there. I remember used to keep the local used to keep his lorry, tipper lorry in there years ago.
Okay, right. Okay, so look, you know, rather than carry on with the debate much longer, you know, maybe it's easiest for me to propose that we put in a bid of 13,000 for it and then see how the vote goes now. You know, unless anybody thinks any different than that. You know, I don't think there's enough interest in going higher, but Ian.
I was going to say, I think if we're looking at 13, whoever else will look at 13. So I think we should go higher. I'd probably go quite a lot higher, but obviously if there's no interest, maybe 15 or more. But I just think it's an important location. But
You do think it, yeah.
Above.
So let's do it in 2 stages then. Let's first take a vote on whether we go with that we will put a bid in at the asking price, and then a second vote on whether we increase that bid to 15,000. So the first vote I'd like to propose then is that Oundle Town Council puts in a bid for this property. We've got a seconder for that. Yeah, okay. So I think Clive was just before that. So all those in favour of that? Right. So we've got four in, and those against?
No, I'm not against, but I'm only prepared to go to 13,000.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to go.
That's what this particular vote is. 13,000.
Right. Okay. So I'll vote for 13, but
Okay.
no more.
Thanks, Jerry. I do understand.
Yeah.
So the next one then is: do we increase the bid to? And I suggest again, 15,000 is possibly the max that we go to. Emma.
Just consider you will have extra costs on that. So when you're actually talking about the money, you're going to be talking about more.
20. Yeah, we've got to be thinking in that region. Yeah.
Another 5 on top.
There won't be 5.
No. So is it right that we put to the vote now whether we increase that bid to 15,000? Ian, does that feel right to you?
I'd be happy to second that, but
Just
Sorry,
before you vote, I mean, if you go straight in with a 15,000 offer and the other party has only offered 10 or 6, we could look very bloody silly. Would it be better to discuss, you know, to give Emma or whoever's going to do it, assuming you're going to carry on and vote yes, discretion to negotiate with the estate agent? Because the estate agent is not going to, if you bid 13, he's not going to, and another person bids 13, they're not going to bang the gavel without coming back and saying, you know, can you go any further?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sorry, Ian?
Well, what is the process? Is it sealed bids or is it?
All I know is that all bids have got to be in by the 28th. I would imagine that if we're dealing with a council, so it would be like us putting something up for sale, putting it out with an estate agent, getting the bids in, they would have to then come back in to be looked at by the council. So that's the process. I mean, I haven't been told that's the process, but that's what I think will happen.
So it's effectively a sealed bid.
So
You can't have sealed bids in England, only in Scotland.
So I
Well,
go on.
no, I just think that that's how they'll work it. They'll just, whatever bids they get, they will take back to whoever they're dealing with at East Northants Council. And then they'll, because they still own it, it'll be up to them. And I would imagine that they're going to go for the highest bid.
Yeah. So the question between now and Friday, before we put the bid in, is this conversation carrying on with ENC to ask them if they will invoke this the section 123 clause, which allows them not to have to accept the highest bid. And if we do get the feedback in this time that is the way they take it, then we'll leave it at the 13,000. We won't put the higher bid in.
But if we don't,
so if we don't hear anything from them, this vote that we're about to take there would say that we would go in on Friday with a 15,000 bid.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about the ending up going into this sort of bidding war situation. I mean, it is
no. Well, I think just on the voting, then
Can I just come in a minute, Tony?
Peter.
If let's say we do get this section 123 or whatever it is, okay, why don't we bid 10,000, knowing full well that if we get the 123 or the ENC come back to us, they'll tell us how much somebody else has been bid, and then we can bid higher. But why go and commit ourselves to 15,000 before we know how much we've got to bid for?
It's a very difficult one, Peter. Ian.
Does it also come down to our decision-making process? If we put the bid in and they come back to us on Thursday or Friday and say whatever, do we need to have another one of these meetings with 3 days' notice to approve that, or can we give Emma authority and COVID powers to do certain things?
Well, I believe if we approve tonight 15,000, then we're giving Emma the power to go in with a different number.
up to 15,000.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about that, Tony.
What you're not sure about?
I don't know. I personally don't want to be going in there bidding more than 13,000. That's my view.
Okay.
And
so look, because of the time, and we've got the estates meeting coming, I want to put it on the table now, and I'll raise it as the proposition that we give Emma the authority to go up to 15,000, depending on the conversations taking place between now and Friday. So I want to put that up so I will propose it, and I'm assuming Ian, you'll second that. Yeah. So now the vote on it, and it's all those in favour. So okay, that one, and just on for the records, all those against. Yeah. Okay. So that one's lost then. So we've done that. So that's very clear then, Emma, on where you go. There was the secondary question there of whether we put a bid in at 10,000 or something less. I'm a little bit concerned about doing that on the basis that we're pushing as much. We know there's going to be another bid on the property, but in terms of what we're asking ENC to do, we might be pushing our luck. The only other thing I would add is that in the spirit of regulation, it would be for ENC to say that there was no need for this bid and they will accept a lower bid or a matching bid from ourselves. So at the moment we are bidding with ENC, which is a public body, it's a council, and it has the authority to accept a lower bid even if we put in at the 13,000. And we could even word it up to 13,000. So unless anybody's to the contrary on that, it's 13,000 with some words alongside it.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
All right then.
so the proposal that we passed is that we will put a bid in of up to 13,000.
Yeah, and I'll work with you on some words that allow us to, if there's a lower bid in, for them to do, what do you say, the honourable thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you all for that one. It was quite difficult, you know. It came in late, and Jerry, I do especially apologise that you weren't on the circulation of the stuff. Separating this issue from rugby club issue in the inbox has been difficult enough, but okay. So I don't know who's joining us for the Peters meeting. It's about to start, but the first section of that I think is important for anybody who's got any memory of the council in the past, you know, on the transfer of land. But otherwise, I'll see you at our next great event.
Okay.
I'm going to go.
Tony, will you
My
need
dinner.
to stay, Tony?
Yes.
Tony, I think it might be important that you stay for 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm joining your meeting. I have to leave this one and then join the other one.
Yeah,
Right.
I need to close this one now so I can open the other.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Bye.